professor at UC Santa Barbara has been charged with misdemeanor theft, battery, and vandalism after she responded to anti-choice protesters on campus. Now, these pro-life protesters were holding the signs with the graphic imagery, what you can usually expect outside of an abortion clinic. And Mireille Miller-Young was not happy about this. She was very upset when one of them tried to hand her anti-abortion literature. So she grabs it, and then she realizes that she was offended by it. She grabs one of the signs, goes to her office, and proceeds to rip it up and use scissors to cut it up along with some of her students. Now, after that happened, she got charged, and she says, well, you know what? I was offended by it. In fact, let me tell you exactly what her reaction was. Young went on to say that because the poster was upsetting to her and other students, she felt that the activist did not have the right to be there.
That's ridiculous. Now, look, it's upsetting to me. I don't agree with the posters. I agree with her position on the issue. I don't agree with just tearing up the posters. Well, I was offended by it, so I tore it up. I would put that on the category of sad day for you. And it's a free country. Now, look, I'm a little biased here because I had an incredibly similar situation, right? You remember the famous Elian Gonzalez story?
Yes.
Where I went down to say you should send Elian Gonzalez home in Little Havana. And my signs were duly torn up in a matter of about 0.3 seconds. Apparently they were offended by my signs.
Yeah, I can imagine.
So no, it's America. You don't get to tear up other people's signs.
Yeah, you have to be tolerant of other people's political views, regardless of how stupid or wrong they really are. So in this case, I mean, I would be offended by it. I wouldn't like it. I don't want them handing me the literature, but they have a right to be there. This is political speech, and you don't want to live in a society that censors or bans your political speech, so you have to be tolerant of everyone else's beliefs.
And what did the students charge did they get hurt in this melee?
So one teenager alleges that she scratched her.
Oh.
Yeah. So I don't know whether or not that's true. That's an allegation at this point. But again, regardless of whether or not that teenager was scratched, the professor shouldn't have responded in that way. It was wrong.
All right. So let me just do a little bit on that as well. Look, they're being drama queens there with oh, I got scratched while she grabbed my protest sign. So she shouldn't have done the sign thing, and she should be duly punished for that, whatever the appropriate punishment is within the school system, right? But you don't need to make a federal case out of it. When my sign got torn up, they scratched me, they punched me in the back of the head, they ripped my shirt, exposing my manly chest to the world.
Oh my God.
They pinched my buttocks for reasons I still can't quite understand. Okay, they did all that. I didn't charge anybody, right? And I was certainly within my rights to press charges on assault and all that stuff.
Right.
Look, they shouldn't have done it, but you don't have to make a federal case out of it. In her case, she's a professor. She's got to set the right tone.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so she can't do that. So they should take some sort of action. On the other hand, it's not the world's largest federal case, and I would say the exact opposite if it was a pro-choice sign that a pro-life professor ripped up.
And you don't want to give Republicans any material. So Republicans always make the argument that, hey, a higher education is always about indoctrinating people with the liberal agenda. And this is an example of how they might actually be right. If you're against the conservative agenda or the conservative voices speaking out on campus, then you're going to look bad. You know, you're going to give them material to work with, and you don't want to do that. It's supposed to be a free marketplace of ideas. Let people preach whatever it is that they believe. If you don't agree with it, you're able to do a counter-protest and prove their asses wrong.
Prove their asses wrong.
Yeah.
Do it the right way.